Hey everybody, welcome back to another Getaway with the Crawfords. It's been a while since you've seen us, but we are here on the Norwegian Getaway, 7-night cruise, sailing out of New Orleans, going down to Costa Maya, Harvest Cape Belize, and Cozumel. They had to cancel Roatan on us. It's okay, we'll make the best of it. So come along with us as we check out this awesome cruise line with Norwegian, and we'll tell you what we like and dislike at the end of this video. So yeah, let's go! Hey everybody, this is cabin 10788. This is a club balcony room cabin. Give you a quick cabin tour just so you know what to expect on this. Once again, Norwegian Getaway, cabin 1078, club balcony room. Alright, walk in, 2 hooks here. Your bathroom's on the left. Now you come into the bathroom, 2 sinks, and a nice sized shower. It's me.
There's only shampoo and shower gel.
Oh, good to know. There's some, looks like we got some drawer storage down here. Little trash can, drawers, another opening. You guys got space here as well. It's like soap. Alright. Now, this is one of those rooms though too where you have to have a key card to keep the power on. So bring a library card or something, driver's license, well maybe not your driver's license, but something that fits in there so you keep your air conditioning on, because this room was warm when we got into it. But you do have your do not disturb sign here if you're outside or your makeup room. So you have to turn those on and off if you want your cabin steward to know. Full size mirror, it's nice. Closet. It's not too bad, you got some shelving here. Other side for the full-length gowns or coats, stuff like that. Shoe robes inside.
Good amount of hangers.
Yeah, good amount of hangers. That was nice, actually.
Yeah.
And you do have some cubby hole space over here.
Is there outlets over there?
Oops, no. You do. It looks like you have an outlet here for a USB or USB up top here, but I do not see an actual physical outlet. All right.
You can keep things behind this
yeah.
shelf. It's open space back here, so like books maybe. Yeah. Again, the same kind of outlet and shelf. Okay.
And over here you got some more storage space in these cabinets as well. That goes over. This one over here is your mini fridge. Behind this one. Small TV. Little storage.
Does it swivel?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Doesn't pull out, so a little bit of swivelage.
Okay.
There are 2 outlets over there on the desk.
Maybe the only outlets we're seeing.
Yeah. Correct.
We did get some water.
And then we have our foreign exchange student Hannah staying with us on this trip. She's been awesome enough to come along and join us. So the couch has been made up into the 3rd person bed here. So you can at least get 3 people in here. And then go out the door to the world's smallest cruise ship balcony. Never seen a balcony so small. Come out. You might be able to get the chairs to go out towards the sea, but it's definitely a very small table. There's not a lot of room up here. Very small balcony for a cruise ship. All right, that's
There's a little table.
Huh? No, it's a small table.
Small table.
All right, but that's it. That's the Norwegian Getaway cabin 10788. That's a balcony, club balcony cabin. There we go. I get it out eventually. Leaving from New Orleans.
Next, we're going to look at some of the main indoor areas of the ship, the 3 main decks, deck 6, 7, and 8. This is going to explore some of the main areas, but also some of the unique spots on the ship as well. First, we're going to look at deck 6. Deck 6 is one of the main spots. This is where guest services is located in the atrium. The first video here and pictures will show the atrium and just how busy it can get at key times. So if you want to watch a show in the atrium, make sure to get there early. other spaces that can be found on deck 6, like Headliners Comedy Club, the card room, the Illusionarium, the theater, and main dining. Next, I'm going to show you the library, aka the card room. This is the library. There's lots of games, lots of books you can check out. Usually there's a person sitting there. And then these are books you can check out. And then there's also this like take one, leave one system. Another unique space on this deck was the Illusionarium. I feel like this place was very nicely decorated and themed, but very underused. But it might be a nice spot to catch some quiet time during the busy hours. Moving on to deck 7, on this deck you mostly find a wraparound casino, but also O'Sheehan's Dining, which is free and open 24 hours. There's also some arcade games, like for adults, that do cost money, along with duck pin bowling. Moving on to deck 8. Deck 8 has the famous ice bar and also the sugarcane mojito bar, which was one of my very favorites. It also has shopping and lots of specialty dining.
Just waiting for all.
Here are a few pictures from the ice bar. It does cost an additional fee, and you do have to make reservations in advance, but all the drinks are included. There are non-alcoholic options as well, and the bartender will make sure that you get your money's worth. Next up is deck 15. I'm just going to show you a few pictures of the fitness center. The spa is also located on this deck. Next, we're going to be moving on to some dining options. First, I'll be taking on a video that takes you through the art gallery to the two main dining rooms of Taste and Savor, which are essentially the same and twins of each other, with a sample menu. Then I'll move you on to some of the more upscale specialty dining options with a sample menu there as well. Yep. Mixed bar we found is a really good bar. And then you have your two restaurants. And then Taste. We are outside the specialty restaurants of Moderna and Cagney's. We're going to go inside. There's a bar in here and it's just very beautiful. This bar might be like a hidden gem that like maybe not a lot of people go to during the day. This is Moderna on this side. Bar. And then Cagney's is over here. I just want to take a minute to single out the Manhattan room because while it is a main dining room and essentially serves the same food as Taste and Savor, we really liked the Manhattan room because it did have live music.
The American Diner had your classic burgers, shakes, fries, and a really good chicken salad. Shanghai Noodle Bar. I love that this ship had an actual Starbucks on board. You could use the Starbucks app, a Starbucks gift card, or charge it to your room. Absolutely love this feature of this ship. Now, room service was a $5 fee or surcharge. Now, that $5, you can order as much as you want and get as much as you want. So you might as well order to your heart's content to get your $5 worth, I guess, of food. But every time you order room service, there is a $5 fee. Now, the ropes course is free on board. There are some rules you do have to follow as far as closed-toed shoes and basically pants on, no short shorts, nothing like that, no swimwear. We didn't see it open too much, though, while we were on board.
This outdoor space was known as the waterfront. I absolutely loved it. This is just one section, but it wrapped around the whole deck, and it has a lot of bars, outdoor seating, and seating for specialty restaurants as well.
Now, the Vibe did cost us $249 per person for this cruise, but it is totally worth it. It's your own private area with drink service, water service. They come through with cold snacks throughout the day and cold towels. They don't overbook it, so you don't have to worry about fighting for a chair. It's a beautiful area, super nice, well worth the money to get you out of the crowded pool area. The only downfall is there is no pool up there. You just have to jump in a shower, or if you're cold, they do have hot tubs. Spice H2O is an adults-only area at the back part of the ship. This is free. There's a small little lounge pool you can sit in, as well as bar service, and some chairs and a giant TV as well. We did do a couple excursions through the cruise line. We did the Chachobian Mayan ruin tour. It was quite fascinating. We really enjoyed ourselves there that day. It was very hot though. We also did some snorkeling in Cozumel, as well as a private beach party tour that included drinks. And then this is the private island that we stopped at Harvest Caye, Belize, owned by the cruise line. Quite nice, beautiful spot.
Hey, and that wraps up our overview of the ship. Now we're going to go a little bit more in detail on some of the pros and cons and what we liked and didn't like from this cruise.
All right, so first thing I want to touch on is the embarkation day. This was our first time cruising out of the port of New Orleans. It was a little chaotic for us, some stressors here and there. Just one, getting to the port was a little stressful. This traffic management was bad. Getting in, there's a lot of people yelling from Norwegian as far as like where to go, where to get in line. And let's talk about the line. Basically, you choose your check-in time. We chose 12:30 to 1. That didn't matter. It was just a free-for-all. And then you just keep going down this long haul. Hopefully we can upload a picture of it, of this huge long line. You just stand and wait. The line does move, but it was poorly, executed, in my opinion. So that's a bummer. It took us about an hour. It was about 54 minutes from the time we got in the back of the line to on the ship. So it moves, not horrible, but it is what it is. You're on vacation, so you go with the flow, and we still had fun waiting in line, I guess.
There's always a lot of debate over are they going to honor the time that they give you for embarkation? And no, they're not. And I haven't found many cruise ships that have.
They only want we were on a Carnival once. And I want to say that was out of Tampa, and they checked your time for check-in, and if you were early, then they put you in a corner line, and they said you wait there till your time. So that's probably the only time we've ever seen that. But it was just the long hallway.
Yeah. So as of now, they are not. That's not something that they are really caring about.
Correct. Next for us, for me to cover, I guess, is the cabin. We did have the balcony cabin room. It was super nice. Really loved the bathroom. The bathroom was huge. I loved the shower. There was multiple shower heads in the shower, and that was cool. It was fun. Something different. You weren't, crowded, which I know a lot of the newer ships are going to bigger showers, but this one's nice. Really enjoyed it. Also,
double sink.
Double sink was awesome. Nice to have, especially with 3 of us in the cabin. That was great as well. Let's see here. What else am I supposed to talk about? The balcony. Oh, Lordy. Why even put a balcony on? Why? I mean, world's smallest cruise ship balcony. You couldn't put your chair towards the water. You had to go at an angle or facing each other, basically. If you had one person out there, you had to kind of crawl over them to get to the other side, or they had to move for you. Just a really small balcony. Really kind of disappointing how small the balcony is on this ship.
We're balcony people.
We are balcony people. We like to sit on the balcony.
Some people don't mind that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a bummer. But there are perks that come with booking a club balcony room, at least as of our sailing in March of 2025. This could always change because we always know things are in flux. But one, you do get a free bag of laundry, which is nice. You also get a free bottle of bubbly. Like, we brought ours home because, we had the drink package and what have you, so there's no point in opening that. Let's see here. What else am I missing?
We also got, snacks. I think we
snacks.
had, chocolate-covered strawberries one night. And
Canaps, or however you say it.
Yeah.
There's, at least 3 different times, I think, we had snacks waiting on us when we got back, which was nice. So that was fun. That was nice. But the room was nice. It had everything we needed. Plenty of closet space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
just don't let the name Club Balcony fool you, because that makes it seem like maybe there's something, extravagant about the balcony. But there's not.
There's not.
It's the same as all the other balconies.
Same as all the other standard balconies. Very small. Very small indeed.
All right. One of the things that I really, really loved that I think is really unique to this ship, so if you are looking at the Getaway, is the waterfront. And I don't know if the sister ships have the waterfront, maybe. But I showed a little bit of it earlier in the video. But, there is times where there's bars out there. There are restaurant seating, like outdoor seating. We never did that because that's mostly some of the specialty restaurants they have to pay for.
It was hot.
And it was hot. But, and we didn't really, I think, catch on to the waterfront until a couple days in, like what it was. But you go out there and it almost wraps all the way around that deck of the ship, and you can just sit out there and relax. There's a lot of shaded areas, and you can just enjoy, especially if you don't have a balcony, this is the place you're going to want to be. But at night it's a pretty hip place because they had a lot of music, and there's a lot of bars out there, and people are just socializing, and it's pretty cool. I haven't seen that kind of feature, I guess, on a cruise ship where there's just a lot of outdoor areas. Yeah. All in one location. Another thing that I really liked that I thought was unique and I talked a little bit about, and that was the ice bar. I did enjoy the ice bar. It was a good time. I know that they talked about there was a group of college kids that were coming, so you can reserve it for a giant group of people. I think they said there was 20. I don't know how many fit in each reservation. But the ice bar, I thought that was kind of unique. I don't know if it was unique enough that I'd have to do it again. If I would go back on Norwegian and they had an ice bar, I might just be a one and done type thing. But it was cool. It was cool to experience. I think it was $15, so it wasn't, that expensive. And then we did show you a little bit of the vibe. We did pay just because one of the stressors is always trying to find a lounge chair. And this ship, which we're going to talk about later, was crowded. So it was really nice just to have a spot, but it was hot. And without a pool there, people were just you have to go in the shower and just there's a little shower and you can cool off. But there was a bar. So it was nice to have a bar that's just solely dedicated to you and the people in the vibe. So that was really nice. And they brought you out drinks and sometimes little snacks and stuff. But that wasn't really consistent. So you never really knew when that was going to happen. So that was that was nice, and we did like it. It was worth it for the chair, but if you're somebody who likes shaded areas, it's still the same as any other cruise ship where you're going to fight for the shade, you're going to fight for an umbrella, you're going to fight for the good seats, even in the vibe. But you're guaranteed to have a spot. And I think that the seats are a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thicker pad. Yeah.
So we enjoyed that. We thought it was well worth it. We'd probably do that again.
Yeah, for sure.
But they do make you wear a wristband the whole time, and that was a little constricting for you.
Yeah.
You didn't like wearing the wristband.
I didn't like. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all inclusives, but for some reason on the ship, it bothered me. The first couple of days, no big deal, but then it started getting weak, and I was catching it on basically everything, and so it was getting frustrating. I was like, why can't I take this off? But because it's on your card. Your card says Vibe. You can't get into the Vibe without your card, basically paying for it. So yeah.
But if you're on the fence, and if you ever aren't sure, the first day you can go on the Vibe for free, I think, and kind of check it out. Yeah. It may be full for the rest of the sailing, but at least you could get a feel for what it looks like in the setup and stuff like that. Like you said, there was a hot tub, but there's no pool, and so that's really the downside. That's really the downside of the whole ship. But yeah. So why don't you tell us about some of the food?
Before I get to the food, I'm gonna go back to the room real quick. I never met our room steward, which is odd. I mean, anybody that's cruised before, the first day you meet the room steward, and then you see them throughout the week. Never met him. Never one time met him. But I'm okay with that. I mean, that's fine. Our room still got clean, still got service. He was in and out like a ninja. Yeah. So,
but your parents were also with us. I think they met him.
And I mean, but we never did. And then probably one other comment real quick, too, on the room, kind of ties to the room. My suitcase was late getting to us because it was in security. I have no idea what was in my bag that flagged it. But when it came to us, the clothes were not put back nicely at all. It would have been nice if Norwegian would have been like, hey, we understand we threw your stuff back in the bag here as a free pressing or a free cleaning, so, your clothes aren't a mess. I'm all for security, whatever you need to do. But, yeah, that was kind of disappointing, too. But, okay, now we're going to move on to the food. The food's great. I was worried going on because, you watch videos like this and read online comments and stuff, and people were complaining about Norwegian food. I had no complaints whatsoever. All the food I had was delicious, from the buffet to the main restaurants, the free restaurants, to specialty dining. I thought all the food was phenomenal. It really was. There was no step down anywhere where I was like, oh, this tastes pretty bad. But everything was good. I mean,
it was good.
Yeah, no complaints at all on the food. And I'll also say the drinks. That was the other thing I saw, people saying, well, Norwegian does a lot of pre-made drinks. Did not have any. Every drink I ordered, the bartender pulled the bottle out, boom, mix, boom, boom, boom. And, I never once saw anything come out of pre-made anything. So that was nice to see as well. Everything was good, strong, no complaints there on the drinks. The singers and the entertainment, phenomenal. This is one thing Norwegian does right, and that's entertainment. I was a little disappointed because we were supposed to see $1 Million Quartet, and that show actually left the ship a week or two before we were due to sail. So we got one of the first showings of the 90s. Do you remember what it was called?
I don't know.
Back to the 90s. Something back to the 90s. It was phenomenal because that's from her and I's time growing up. So we knew all the songs. It was a lot of fun. It was a really great production. And then they moved the Fleetwood Mac show to the theater as well. Phenomenally done. Great show. No complaints at all about any of the musicians, any of the shows. Awesome time. All the entertainment was just top notch.
Especially the singers in the buffet.
Yeah, singers. Yeah, singers in the buffet. Yeah, we're great.
Everybody's favorite. That's a Norwegian specialty.
Yeah, washy. So that's a lot of fun. Great time. Ice cream, self-serve ice cream. The only downfall is they shut it down around 11 or midnight, I guess, to clean the machines or what have you. So you won't be able to get it then. It's not 24 hours. But for the majority of the day, when you want your soft-serve ice cream, just go grab your cone, boom, and you're good to go and keep walking.
Which reminds me, we showed a video of the late-night snacks. I don't know what time the late-night snacks were. Yeah. If it was after, I'm not sure how late. Now I can't remember. But we weren't that impressed.
No, late night snacks could definitely be improved.
Yeah.
Kind of always the same thing every night.
Yeah.
Nachos, some not the most great looking pizzas, and some small burgers, and like cereal and cake.
It's kind of a weird mix. It's like dessert with like bar food with like cereal. I don't know.
But if you went down to a Sheehan's, 24 hours, they had a great menu. They had the chicken wings were great. The hot dog was great. The burgers, everything you get at Sheehan's, no complaints at all. Loved it all. And super friendly service as well. All right, back to you. And what are we talking about now?
One of our probably number one things, I guess, to be aware of if you want to board the ship, and one of the number one factors that kind of played into our experience was the crowding on the ship and just like the ship layout in general. We have been on a lot of ships, and I've never once been one of those people that thought like, a lot of people, their complaint is like, oh, you feel like you're in a petri dish, or it's like so many people, and I've never felt that way until this cruise.
But we
unfortunately
did go on spring break. We were technically on spring break, but I agree. This is the first time where I was like, holy smokes, you felt all 4,000 people on this ship.
You could not do anything without a reservation or standing in line. Like even to go to like Sid Norman's, we never even went to Sid Norman's, which is, if you are familiar with Norwegian, that's a pretty popular like location to hang out, bar. You'd have to wait an hour before the show started just to get in, and it's my vacation. You know, I don't want to be waiting in line for every little thing. So I guess that's a decision that we made, was that we didn't want to do that. I guess if that's something you're really looking forward to, then I guess you'd make the time for it. But there was just so crowded, and there was only one pool that like everybody had access to. So there's the Havana cabins, and they had their own.
No.
Did the Havana have a pool?
You're thinking Carnival. Let's see. That's
Okay. Well, I don't know. We didn't have the Havana access anyway.
What's the
Haven?
The Haven. The fancy people. The Haven. The Haven has their own pool.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the Haven, but not everybody can use that.
Yeah.
Then there's the kiddie pool, which I mean, maybe if you have kids, you can like kind of sneak your way in there as like kind of a little lounge, put your feet in or whatever. Yeah. And then
Spice H2O.
Spice H2O had that little lounge pool. That's not even like a real like dip like pool like swim pool. So there was really only one that everybody could use, and it was so crowded. And especially when they have activities, like if you just wanted to like cool off, and it was like in the middle of the, I don't know, whatever contest they're having, there's no luck. You can't even get through, let alone get in the pool, because there's too much going on. There's so much on the deck, on the pool deck. So it was just so hot all the time, and we didn't have a good place to really cool off. I think they really need more pools. Yeah. For sure. So I don't even know if I went to the main pool at all.
No, I never got in the main pool.
Yeah, I don't think we ever even did. It was
so crowded. Like, no.
The best pool time I had was when we went to Harvest Key.
Yeah.
And they had a giant pool there. There's that. Also, this kind of goes along with the crowding too, but we were there with our exchange student and his parents. Yeah. And the app for Norwegian is one of the worst ones that I have experienced. They had, and I don't know if they're still developing it. Maybe they're going to change this. There was no communication tool. So you would have to like rely on like Wi-Fi. So like social media or like Facebook messaging or Instagram messaging or something to contact WhatsApp, the people in your group. But we didn't have Wi-Fi. Yeah. So if you don't get the internet packages, there's literally no way for you to communicate with your family members and friends on the ship, like while you're on the ship. You can call them, you can talk to them in person. Like if we like, find something cool and we want to tell them, hey, we're at this place, do you want to join us? There's absolutely no tool for that.
You mean call the cabin? Yeah,
but if they're not in the cabin. Yeah. Like if you're just like out and about.
How are you gonna call them?
You can't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can't. So yeah, in general, we waited a few days for the internet. Yeah. We got like a free promotional 150 minutes maybe.
It's 150, 180. It's not enough.
Yeah. Which I mean, if you think about that, that's like.
And you share it.
Yeah, that's like 3 hours, not even 3 hours. Yeah. A little less than 3 hours of time for 7 days with 3 people. And like he would have to sign off and then I'd have to sign on.
Yeah.
And so that's just not realistic. But we waited a couple days, I think 2 or 3 days on the ship, and the price went down, and we got a pretty good deal. So we would recommend that. But prior to that, it was a lot of just like trying to find each other if we decided to go separate ways, or, you know, back to the old school, like, hey, we're all going to meet here at 6. But if there was any change in plans, or if you found something else, good luck notifying your family members. So I don't know if that's important to people. Maybe if you're just traveling, you know, with 2 people or 1 person, that's not that important to you. But since we had a lot of different, you know, people wanting to do different things throughout the day, it kind of was a hassle.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything to say about that?
No, just that.
The crowding?
Just the crowding. The crowding was, it's, you know, unfortunate because, I mean, obviously you can't redesign a ship to add more pools or, I mean, I know they can do some things, but yeah, it was, you know, I know we missed out on Sid Norman's and a couple of the other clubs. We didn't go to the comedy club. We
could never get in.
Dueling Piano. They have a Howl at the Moon on board. Couldn't do any of them because I'm not going to wait in line an hour and a half before the show for the doors open. Not the show, but for the doors open to get in and hopefully get a seat or a good spot to stand. It's not going to happen. So, unfortunately, yeah, we didn't see any of those because, I mean, we'd be coming back from dinner or something. The lines were already long of people waiting to get in. And just no thanks.
This is the first time I've ever been anywhere where the atrium is so popular.
Yeah.
I mean, we did watch a couple shows in the atrium. Yeah. But, I mean, it was just like sitting on the edge of like a couch or something. So I don't know. Maybe people have different experiences where it's not as crowded.
Yeah.
Maybe we just went at a really bad time.
True.
But I've just never had somewhere where you have to make so many reservations and get somewhere an hour ahead of time just to see a comedy show. Like, I know you have to get early sometimes to get a good seat or a good spot, no matter where you're at. But I just thought that was a little excessive and maybe not the most, you know, relaxing vacation-y vibes that we're used to.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I guess that's going to wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
So the $1 million question is, would we go back on Norwegian again? Would we give them another shot? Was it impressive enough for us to spend our hard-earned money and do it again? And I think the answer is overwhelmingly yes, we would. Like, it was a really great cruise. It really was. Other than the crowding, I mean, that might have been it. And the ship, just the ship in general. So I think if we chose Norwegian again, we probably would steer clear of the Getaway ship, the Getaway class ships, whatever the sister ships are of the Getaway. We would definitely not book those. I mean, or it'd have to be either a free cruise or a really great itinerary for us to go on board that. But otherwise, yeah, we'd definitely go on Norwegian again. No complaints at all, really. I mean, I know we just gave you some, but honestly, the big ticket items, the big hitters that most people complain on were no issues at all. We really enjoyed our time. It was wonderful. Yeah, that's about all we got, right? You got anything else to add to that?
Nope.
Nope. All right, hey, that's going to wrap up another Getaway with the Crawfords. Thanks again for tuning in and watching us, especially if you made it to the end of this. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We do enjoy it, and we do try to get back to you on comments or questions that you might have. And yeah, thanks so much again for tuning in. We'll see you on our next trip, wherever that may be. All right.